jobs, switch jobs, leave a job in such a manner where you don't offend anyone, rather you are able to come out in the best possible manner, which makes it a win-win-win for you, the company, and everyone. Today's episode number 69 is when we will be crafting a step-by-step communication framework, mastering every single job opportunity over the last 7 years that I went through, where whenever it is that I was fired unceremoniously or I left voluntarily, every single thing that I've learned up until this moment is what I'm going to share with you. You're going to take a lot of notes. You're going to see how you will implement each of these frameworks one step at a time. And the best part is you will begin to realize that resignation is going to be the greatest experience that you ever had. Now, I'll not bore you with any of my stories, anything in this particular live session. The reason I'm doing it, it's 31st of December. And the only way that I could close the chapter of my career, as in working for others, to step into obviously another role altogether as an entrepreneur, but it's a job that requires a lot more commitment, and it's a job that I don't see myself resigning from definitely in the foreseeable future for however long. Let's see how that's going to go. So let's get straight away started. The first and foremost thing is, when do you decide that you want to resign? Now I'll give you these little things that will always work. The first thing is, you will get that little bit of a feeling that whatever was promised to you, if you're from India or anywhere Southeast Asia, there's a tendency that you are always underpaid compared to a place like US, UK, Canada, Germany, Europe, Australia, New Zealand, and all. These are the places where you are paid well. What do you mean by paid well? The amount of money that you are earning takes care of your expenses, of yourself and your family, all the basic needs like house and food and bills and EMIs and everything. In India, it is not so. It's always underpaid. And that's why there is a growing trend amongst us millennials and then Gen Zs right now that two people in the family, they have to earn in order to make sure that the family is sustained. Now, obviously, let's face it, majority of us work because of the money that pays the bills. There are only a handful of people, at least that's what I observed so far in my professional, the corporate career that I've had so far. People work very, very seldom because they enjoy the work. Okay. So, but then certain things happen. Some rift with the boss, company not really doing what they said that they will do. You are not getting the appraisal and the promotions that you were promised. There are certain discrepancies in your workplace. Now, the reasons could be anything. The point I'm trying to make is you will get that internal feeling deep inside, I've had enough. Now, sometimes it's just a whisper. Sometimes it's loud screaming to your lungs. And if you don't have responsibilities, of course, if you have responsibilities like children and you're the only bread earner of the family, all of those things, then well, I really feel for you. But if that's not the situation, like how I am in right now, I mean, yeah, my parents are dependent on me to some extent, and I'm someone. I think I shared this in the previous couple of lives as well. My code of honor, authenticity, transparency, integrity, loyalty, honesty. These are like even the slight congruency, all these little things, even if there is the slightest bit of mismatch, and if I'm able to sense that and feel that, I think I'm pretty much done. When I'm in, I'm all in, otherwise I'm not. So that's my reason. You could have multiple different set of reasons, but you're going to get that little thing from inside that I've had enough. Now, that is exactly the point when you have to resign. And what I have observed so far, and this I tell you with all humility and bowing down to all the companies that I've served so far, the moment you get that feeling, I've had enough, that's when you have to drop your paper. Now, how to drop the paper and all, we will discuss it. But if you don't drop the paper at that time, please understand that you will get fired. And that will come to you as a shock. When you take a decision, it is you can mentally prepare yourself, you can financially prepare yourself, and all the things is what we are going to discuss here right now. So please make sure that you are taking that decision whenever you're whenever you get that feeling that I've had enough. What I have experienced so far is the world is a beautiful place, and you'll be shocked and surprised that just because a couple of experiences has not been that good, if you've not worked in the right company, if you've not had good bosses, if you've not really been enjoying that entire experience of working in the best place, working with the right team, right team members and everything, it's absolutely okay to leave because you will always get a better opportunity. When I started out, I didn't even think like 23,000 was my first salary. And I ended my official corporate career at a six-figure package, which is insane. No one in my family has been able to achieve that yet. I'm the first in my entire family. So it's crazy. And purely, completely in the private sector, less than 7 years to be precise in my entire corporate life. So I must have done something right. Now, initially, I used to feel that, of course, I was a COVID pass out. So the initial couple of jobs that I had, the first job I remember I got fired because I had a lot of fault. But other than that, I think the next couple of jobs, there were couple of other reasons for which I got fired. And then the recent ones is the one which I voluntarily left. But then there were certain mistakes that I did in that journey is what I will be unfolding today. So the moment you've established that I've had enough, please drop your paper. Now, how to drop the paper? That's the second thing we're going to go through. Usually, in the corporate setting, people are like, you should always discuss it with your manager, discuss it with your colleagues, talk to your senior about it, give feedback and all those things. But please note that the moment you get that little feeling, I've had enough, it's pretty much time and your intuition, your soul, your consciousness, whatever you call it, is already telling you that we've tried it and it didn't work. So, and that's why I've had enough. Now, if you're blessed with good colleagues and all, obviously you can talk about it, you can discuss about it. It always helps and they will try to keep you. Something that I did in one of the previous companies that I was working for. I I got the hunch and I told, but they were like, no, don't leave. We'll help you. We'll get you solved. They tried to solve the problem, but only then they took that opportunity and fired me and did not even pay me my salary. So it was crazy. And that's why I keep saying that the moment you get that hunch, please note that something deep within is telling you. So get ready to drop the paper. Now, the way that I prefer, and this is something that has worked beautifully for me, is you draft a mail, an email, and send it off to your HR and then tagging your reporting manager. That's it. Just send the email. So, how should the email be? Now, again, you're not going to call, you're not going to text, you're not even going to ask you, no informal conversation. Just drop an official email from your work email ID. Now, what happens when you drop an email? Everything is official. This is serious. And you took that serious step because and only because you got that thing from your intuition, God, consciousness, whatever you want to call it. I've had enough. Okay. The moment you do that, there's going to be a series of consequences that's going to happen because every action has an equal and opposite reaction. Newton's third law. The HR, it'll be like a bomb to the HR. It'll be like a bomb to the reporting manager. And then the very next thing that they're going to do is they're going to sit with you for an interaction. So what do you write in the email? That's the third thing that we're going to go through. The email, you have to write not exactly the truth which you feel. So the first thing you need to do is, I've had enough, because, and write down your, take a piece of paper and write down your actual reasons, whatever those reasons might be. The work pressure is too much. Uh, Colleagues are not that good, not feeling like it. Work life balance has gone for a toss. I'm not getting my appraisal, not getting my promotion, not getting my incentives. I was not given the right respect, or whatever it is. Endless reasons, whatever reasons, the actual true reasons, write them down. Please note that you cannot use these reasons in that resignation email. You've got to come up with a reason that is true, truth, but truth that is the perfect blend between your growth and how you want to focus and ensure that the company is not stalling because of you. And that's the best approach that I've felt always works, which is also the truth in a way. Had you, so I'll tell you what my usually email, the last couple of resignations that I did, here's what overall is what I write. Of course, now you can take ChatGPT's help to write down, always works, but I don't believe in using ChatGPT to write an entire email. No, that's not a good thing to use AI for. You can use for ideation. You can use for interaction, but not full-fledged writing the email. So the way it goes is resignation with a heavy heart. That's the subject line. And then respected sir, respected ma'am, whatever, HR. Uh, with a very, very heavy heart, I'd like to inform you something that I've been thinking over a long period of time. The kind of responsibilities that's bestowed upon me. Somewhere I feel that there is a big skill gap. And that's why I'm finding it slightly challenging to take to be at my 110% productive, which I feel this company and the role that I am in deserves the most. Any kind of uh, misalignment with respect to what I ideally would like to do versus what I am doing, I'm not feeling good about it. And that's when I need to take a step back in order to reflect, in order to learn, in order to grow, in order to upskill myself. And for this, with a heavy heart, I would like to submit a resignation. Now, overall, this is what I usually write, plus minus a little bit here and there. So you don't take the blame. You are very, very strategically telling the actual reason, but blending it in such a manner where the reader also gets to know that, oh, this person did ask us for help, but we were not able to help. Okay, let's see what we can do. Let's find out more about it. So you are, while you submitted the resignation, but the way that they will read it, the HR team or your reporting manager will read it is, oh, there are a set of problems that he's going through. Let's see how we can solve those problems and retain the employee. That's what they will read it as. Which means your objective, see, the objective of dropping the resignation is to ensure that you are able to resign smoothly, right? But when you actually tell them the truth, they are obviously a company or an employee or an individual. The stature and the magnitude is far bigger for them than for you. You're an individual. They're a company. Company is a group of people. So you cannot offend them or hurt them. Rather, you have to put your truth wonderfully garnished with a couple of facts, but in a very, very soothing manner in which you don't take the blame as well, but then you are able to place your point in a very, very proper manner. So I've given you the template. You can make certain changes and accordingly play around. The moment they read, the immediate thing is, okay, fine, he has dropped the resignation, but we would like to talk about it. Talk about it. What is it for? Now, this purely depends on the kind of company they are, or now the next set of steps purely depends on the next conversation that's going to have. Now, we have already established this right at the start of the conversation that every single time you drop your resignation, you've already decided that you want to resign. Okay. So you've dropped that entire mail. As you drop that entire mail, now we will prepare for the meeting. Now, there are a couple of options, and this is when I'll take a slight detour on what should be your mindset even before you drop that resignation. Now, whatever are your reasons for dropping your paper, you have to equip yourself so that financially you're taken care of. How do you do that? Well, ideally, what I do is to build an emergency fund. That is, whatever salary that you are getting, you have to save enough money and have that available in front of you as liquid cash, which is the total of ideally 12 months of your monthly expense, if not at least 6 months of your monthly expense. You should have that entire money saved so that even if you resign, you'll not have to worry about the basic day-to-day expenses. I'm talking about the bills, the electricity bills, Wi-Fi bill, the transportation, the groceries, whatever, rent and food, all of those things that you have to pay no matter what. You have to get your emergency fund locked in. If you're taking this decision in a haste, it's only going to put you in a big emotional warfare. Like I went through it. That's why I'm telling you right now itself. Okay. Once the emergency fund and everything is ready, second, you can decide whether what are you going to do about the resignation? Because they are going to ask you, the company is going to ask you. So you have to prepare yourself. And again, there are three options. One, you can take a sabbatical, you can take a break. Number two, you can actually upskill. You can get back into your learning. Maybe you want to go through a course, you want to take some time to learn some new skills, go to a coaching program or a course or training institute, whatever, to upskill yourself on some hard skills, soft skills, whatever it is. Or third, you want to change jobs. Now, you definitely cannot say that you're going to change jobs. However, before you drop your resignation, you can always start applying for interviews. Now, I've already conducted previous lives on how do you crack an interview, how do you negotiate your salary, how do you find your dream job. So just go through those episodes. You'll find it out. Just go to the playlist and keep scrolling. You'll be able to find out in my YouTube channel. So I don't want to get into that element. Now, so that one detour, we've covered it. Now let's come back. Then they're going to sit in front of you for the meeting. And this meeting, you have to prepare yourself properly. Dropping a paper, however strong we might be, it creates some kind of an impact deep inside, emotional impact. The companies know it, the HRs know it because that's the only thing that they deal with. Personally, I'll tell you, I don't have anything against the human resources department. It's just that I feel that it's irrelevant in today's world. It like HR team kind of complicates things rather than simplifying things. When you look at small businesses and all, probably after a few years we will see the whole HR and everything will cease to exist. Okay, so that's my perspective. My point of view could be completely wrong, and that's perfectly fine for me as well. The HR is going to sit with you with the reporting manager, and if it's a small sized company, the founder and all will also sit with you to get to know what is it all about. So they're just going to ask you very openly, like, what made you take the decision? Why now? What are the next set of plans? So again, I will give you the framework that works best. This is when you have to stick to your guns of exactly the same words that you have put it across in the email. So what I always do is the same thing. I just expand on it a little bit. As in, let's just say there are certain specific roles. So I'll give you a couple of examples. Let's just say I am a coach in a company. So I will say that the number of hours that I need to coach, I'm not able to find that time to rest and relax, recoup, next morning, wake up afresh and really serve the mission. I feel that I'm exhausted, I'm tired. And you cannot really coach someone when you are tired. You cannot energize someone when you are only energetically depleted. So deep down, I'm able to feel that I'm not being too congruent with the role that I'm bestowed upon. So you are going to target the flaw and you perfectly blend it in, connecting the mission and the vision of the company. This is the greatest safety net that you can have. Now, it'll take you a little bit of a practice to get into that competency where you will be able to speak that out to the people in that conversation. But as you practice, you can do so with ChatGPT. You can use any AI voice tool as a role play exercise to be able to do it. And it's a great, great, great thing because you're not directly blaming them. You are not directly even taking the blame. You are putting the roles and responsibilities on one side, and what are the challenges that you are facing related to which is not good for the eventual good of the company. So you are safe, the company is safe, and you are actually targeting two complete abstract things and using that as your foundation. There could also be some other, I'll give some other examples. Let's just say customer support. Okay. So uh, now I sincerely feel that the kind of customer support that this company needs, the kind of way in which we take care of our customers, I will not be able to help them and talk to them if I am only not in a happy state. And I'm not able to understand and explain myself on why I'm not in a happy state. What I came to realize is because I have to answer to way too many customers within that short period of time, I'm not having that breathing space to smile. I'm just mechanically doing it. And I'm sure the mission and vision, the company doesn't want their customer care executives to become a robot and talk to their customers that way. No customer deserves it. Did you see what I just did? So you can take such examples and you can accordingly frame it. You just have to practice it a little bit more, and the more role plays you do, the easier it gets. So the objective of that entire discussion is that they must accept your resignation, and they will be ready to answer your questions by helping you kickstart the notice period. Whenever any company, until and unless they are uh, not so integral ones. Now, I've had a chance to work with quite a few of them as well. But most of the companies that I work for, they do give you the opportunity to go through a notice period. Now, I'm again going to take a slight detour on what is the perfect day to drop the resignation. And hands down, I'll tell you, drop the resignation the day after you have received your salary for the previous month. So let's just say right now it's December. Now January is going to start. So January, let's just say 5th or 6th is when you receive your salary. 7th January is when you are going to drop the paper, as in you are going to send that email. Okay. Don't ask me why. Numerous experiences I've had. Uh, the notice period, mandatory for you to get that notice period, to earn that notice period, mandatory for you to enjoy that notice period, mandatory for the company as well as yourself to have a smooth exit, handing over of all the tasks and everything, and for you to get a good, full, and final settlement, something that you deserve. That's why do that. Okay. And in that conversation, when they have finally accepted your points, they will come up with things like, isn't there anything that we can do to reverse this decision? The mail is already sent. If you reverse the decision, now they have the upper hand, so they're going to fire you at some point of time if your performance is not up to the mark, because you've already submitted the resignation, you are already on the firing line. So do not take any of those options. There's going to be a lot of temptation by the HR, by the manager. They'll tell you that they're going to give you this, give you that, all of those things. But when you've decided and dropped the paper, that's it. It's already done. You've already, so it's three. I believe in the rule of three. You've heard me say that, right? First, you got something inside told you, I've had enough. Number two, you decided to drop the resignation and you dropped it. Number three, you're having that discussion. 3 touch points done, which means there's no going back now. Yeah. So, and you already have your emergency fund ready, or your next job ready, or whatever it is that, or you've already planned your sabbatical or holiday or whatsoever. So I remember I did this in the New Year's Eve. So I dropped my paper in the month of November, in the month of October. November, I got relieved. December, in the middle, I got my full and final settlement. So I got a chance to go to Kolkata and spend around a month and a half with my parents uh, without any pressure. No pressure at all. Of course, I didn't tell them anything. I just told them that they gave me a vacation, well earned vacation, and all that. So not everything you need to share honestly, but again, you can enjoy that, right? So that's the only objective that you're going to have when you're sitting in front of them for the meeting. Do not fall prey to any of this, any of the stuff that they tell you, and just make sure that uh, you're sticking to your guns and just repeating the same points over and over again, bringing those points over and over again. If possible, make sure that you keep a note in front of you if required. Make sure that you carry a note if it's an in-person meeting, what in-person meeting and all. So it always helps, and it's always good to be honest. Yeah. Now, once the discussion and all is over, next your notice period is going to start. And this is a very, 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 very important phase. In abroad, I'm talking about outside India, Europe, US, Canada, and all these places. Notice period is a very, very good time, because this is when the companies usually, they slowly ease you off your responsibilities. Obviously, if you're in a very, very respectable and responsible position, you have to work slightly harder to hand over all the systems and processes until the new hiring joins, and you have to train them and do all of those things. But otherwise, it's relatively easy. And this is also the time when a lot of people will come and talk to you, will give you, you can exchange LinkedIn recommendations, you can stay in touch, you can make these amazing connections across departments. In India, though, as per my experience, because most of the companies that I work for, except one, are Indian companies, they freeze you out, they isolate you, they make you feel like you don't even exist. Same company that every single member was talking to you and they were interacting with you and whatnot, suddenly they isolate you. That's what I experienced so far. Okay. And it's not a very good feeling. So you start getting all these weird kind of questions like, did I do anything wrong? Or shouldn't have I done it? And all those kind of questions you get. And that's absolutely normal to get. But what I have found out is this is the time when you really open up to people, and you have to put in your efforts to interact more and more. Couple of people will definitely do, at least as a formality. Okay, so we will miss you. It was great time. We had a great this thing. We're gonna miss you. All the best for your future endeavors. All of those formal best of luck wishes and everything will go on. Okay. Now, what you have to do is maximize this. Even if it's an informal bye, goodbyes, and everything, maximize it. Get your LinkedIn recommendations from as many people in from the company as possible, as many of them as possible, including all the way from the founder, your core team members, your other departmental members, the HR and all. Take as many LinkedIn recommendations as possible. If even better, do a cross recommendation. Like, you recommend them, tell them to recommend you, interact with them more, just tell them to shower that recommendation, endorsement of the skills on LinkedIn, because that is something that will stay with you. Okay. Mandatory to make that, to do that. And so in that 30 days, whatever it is, minimum is 30 days. Some companies, they decide to extend it depending on your role. Some companies, they immediately cut you off, whatever it is. Now, why is this very, very important? Because the notice period is when the company will start calculating your full and final settlement. But please note that this your salary stays stuck, but the job, the work responsibilities and everything has slowly started to reduce. So they are going to try and ensure that they cast you off as soon as possible. But you maintaining that relationship and ensuring that the responsibilities and all are taken care of properly, it it's just going to help you earn that money as well. Now, this is also a time when you might as well join the new job, and of course, there also they will want to know how many days of notice period and everything that is there that you have and all that. So just ensure that you are absolutely transparent and everything with both the parties, in case if you're planning to switch jobs. The more transparent and authentic you are, the more trust you are building in both the parties, and that's super important. So, for example, in this entire video, there are a lot of things that I'm telling which happened to me, but you'll never see me take the names of any companies, founders, or even the industry. Okay, I'm not going to do any of that. So And that's completely out of respect for every single thing that the company has taught me, irrespective of the experience the exit experience that I had. I mean, one little experience cannot take away the learnings that I've had, right? So it's always important not to hold any grudges or even burn the bridges. Although burning the bridges, I mean, if people have not been good to me during a difficult period of time, or I have a different perspective altogether about burning the bridges, probably something that I will share in the next live. Okay, that's also very interesting. I think I just got the idea. So I'll be doing one more live also today, which I supposed to do. This one was supposed to happen yesterday. We're happening today. Doesn't matter. We're going to work on that itself, that topic. So while the whole conversation and everything is going on, you are going to make sure that overall you are in the good books all throughout. There are times when, in couple of the roles, two to be precise, I was given far more tasks than I could have ever anticipated, especially during my last few days of the notice period. And I kind of vented out. Now I realize I shouldn't have. It didn't help anyone, it didn't serve anyone. But when you stay in touch with those people, and I've always had a very bad habit of deleting numbers of people I don't speak to for 90 days. That's a very, I don't know why is that a habit, but if I see that there's any contact in my phone, I haven't spoken to them for more than 90 days, they're flushed out straight away. Like there's no reasons behind it. It's just that they're out. It's only very recently that I've kind of started keeping the numbers saved in my phone, and it's a weird thing that I do. Please don't do it. Keep the numbers saved, because what for me, for example, if I create more WhatsApp stories, they'll get to know about whatever it is that I'm doing. So it's kind of amazing thing. And in fact, recently also, I got a chance to reconnect with a few of my colleagues that I worked with, few of my people whom I trained and all. They got in touch with me. We exchanged LinkedIn recommendations. It's a great experience talking to them all over again after quite a few years. So it's always good to stay in touch with people. And I'm learning this from Yogeshwari slowly and steadily. Okay. Now, notice period is slowly coming to a close. And there is something that once your resignation gets accepted, you will be receiving something that is called as your last working day. Now, there are three kinds of last working days. The first are the companies who immediately want to get rid of you so that they can save some costs. Okay, so they'll immediately give you your last working day. To some extent, they'll ensure that your last working day is over, and yet you still have to stay in touch with the company to do some follow-up tasks. Okay, that these are the companies that there's nothing we can do, right? Because we don't really know. That's the first kind of company. The second kind of companies are the one, as soon as they accept your resignation, they will already decide on whether it's a 30-day notice period, 45-day, 60-day notice period. They will immediately calculate from that day onwards, the day you send the email, 45 days from that time, 30 days from that time, they will give you your last working day. And the third companies are the ones where if they want to extend that notice period, they want to extract some more work out of you, so they might extend that as well. These are three kinds of last working days that you will get. As the last working day approaches, or you get to know, a couple of very important things that you need to do. And this is something that I'm very particular about. Okay. Do not send any messages to anyone. No goodbyes, no see you again, and all. Don't do that. Do that only and only when you are meeting someone face to face. So if you're going to an office, it's always good to give a hug and all the best and all those things. If it's online, if you're meeting Zoom, edX, whatever it is, virtual meeting, you're able to see the other people, and that's when you exchange your pleasantries. All the best for your future endeavors, everything. Thank you. We'll stay in touch and everything. Do that only then. But no texting and all that. It doesn't look good. And it's not human. That's as per my perspective. Now, before your last working day, please note, after your last working day, you are not an employee in the company anymore. So in your resignation mail, make sure to CC your personal mail ID as well, because your work mail ID might get chopped off. So the proof and everything is not there. It's important to have the entire CC to your personal mail ID as well. Before your last working day, it's your responsibility to sit down with your HR, either over call, ideally over in-person meeting or virtual face-to-face meeting, to get crystal clear clarity on your exit procedure and exit formalities. And that's the sixth thing that we're going to talk about today. Now, I have observed so far, and that's something that we're integrating in Sunsden. We are very, very clear about it, which is you need a good set of documents that will turn out as your professional proof. And those documents include at least 3 months of pay slip, salary slip. Initially, when I was working for a couple of companies, they did not give any proper salary slip. So I had to struggle for my next set of jobs. The credibility was not established. 3 months of salary slip with proper deductions, every single thing needs to be mentioned. Second, full and final settlement, the amount, when will that be credited, and the full and final settlement letter. Now, that letter is usually that entire month of notice period in case there are any deductions, in case if you have PF, get the PF account details. Don't tell them to credit the entire amount in your bank account. Get the PF account credentials from your office, because they will be knowing, the HR is supposed to know. I've never had any PF yet across the companies that I worked for. So make sure to take all of those things, and any other benefits. For example, you have to return the laptops or the devices that the company owns, any company assets, you have to return them. And what else? I think you have your medical insurance and all these different benefits that the company was giving you. All those things has to be forfeited or whatever it is. Your ID card needs to be broken up or whatever. So all those formalities HR will tell you. Different companies, depending upon how principle, how strict of a principle your HR decides to be. Again, all those formalities are going to differ from company to company. But these exit formalities are mandatory. Now, a lot of HRs will be like, see, these are the documents that we give, these are the documents that we don't give, these are the documents that we have, these are the documents that we don't have. This is standard procedure, that is not standard procedure. But what I follow is what I'm telling you. And these are documents is important because I'll tell you why it's important. Your 3 months of salary slip is what your next job opportunity, whenever you have, they are going to ask for as a proof of your salary. So they're going to ask for your offer letter, which you must have got when you signed in for the job, but they'll also ask you for the 3 month salary slip. So when you give the salary slip, that's a proof that this was the salary that you're earning. So it validates whatever you've discussed with them in the interview. Now, if they are like, we don't give you any salary slip, well, you have to. Please help me with the details as much as possible. What I observed is, even though companies like that, I remember there were a couple of companies I worked for, they never gave any salary slip. But when I forced them, they had to make sure, because they don't want to hold on to that loop also. So I used to do a lot of follow-ups back and forth in order to get the salary slips and all those details. It was hard, but somehow I managed and got whatever I needed. So that's the importance of salary slip. Full and final settlement letter is also a confirmation that your full and final settlement is done, and there is always a proof of the same, that the company doesn't owe you any more money, which means now you have the freedom to work for someone else in case if you have a new job, or in case if you're looking to take up a new job. Your new HR is going to be asking for all these documents. So you don't want to exit without having these documents and then do a back and forth, because then the HR, as I mentioned, they'll be busy taking care of their actual employees and all. If you're in India, they're going to start ghosting you. I mean, I'll tell you, couple of the companies that I work for, even in the resignation mail, I didn't get a single reply from the HR. It's crazy. Yeah, that's how much they ghost you. Okay, and I don't even know why they do it. Okay, it's weird. I know it. Maybe they don't even want to take up the difficult conversations, or they don't know how to handle it. It's multiple scenarios. We don't even want to get into permutations and combinations here. Okay, so full and final settlement letter, your salary slips. Then the next two documents are super important. Oh yeah, the payment as well. So that's the thing. You have to get that payment. Okay, the salary coming in. Usually it's, I think the standard protocol, as per my experience so far, is 45 days from your last working day. That's when they pay you. So you have to hold on to your horses and be patient to get that payment. And that's when your emergency funds, if you manage your money well, it's going to help you. 45 days later, obviously, you will be getting that entire salary credited, full and final settlement, along with all the documents. But it's important for you to continue to follow up. All right. So where was I? I completely got lost. Okay. Salary slip, full and final settlement, the actual amount. These two documents and one this thing you'll have to get. Next, two documents, very very important. One, relieving letter. Relieving letter is a confirmation that your company has officially let go of you, or you are now not employed. Relieving letter is an individual document which the new HRs will want, especially if you're going to a proper MNC, they will want this. And it's very important that you have that document with you always, so that you're not liable to the company anymore. And that's what the document states. Okay. The next document is what's that called? The experience letter. Oh my God. I, I think three of my jobs, I did not even know that this document exists. It's only when firstly my dad told me, and then one of my dear friends told me, that's when I started getting these experience letters. And I started attaching experience letters into my LinkedIn as and when the job used to get over. And that I would do as a proof. Also, to observe how did the company write the experience letter to me. Now, in most cases, they have a standard template. They copy and paste the same template and they give the experience letter. That's not important. The important thing is you got the experience letter and the duration of the tenure of your employability is mentioned clearly over there. That's a very, 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 very important proof. And when you club it with LinkedIn, if you go to my LinkedIn, you'll be able to find all my experience letters. The amount of months that I've worked and what's mentioned in the experience letter is a proof of credibility. Mandatory because your new HR might ask that as documents for your onboarding process itself. These are the documents you have to get it. So now when I say 3 pay slips, let's just say right now is the month of December. Next month, you already submitted your paper in the month of January 6th. We'll take that example itself. January 7th. So now 30 days from there, 7th Feb is your last working day. 7th Feb to count another 45 days whenever it is somewhere at the end of March probably is when you're supposed to get all these documents. It is supposed to be mentioned clearly on the number of the duration that you worked in the company, all of the things it's supposed to be mentioned, and your pay slips, your full and final settlement is going to be from January 7th till February 7th, and all the deductions and everything made. So the previous 3 months is going to be December, November, and October. Yeah. Okay. So you're going to get a total of 4 salary slips, 3 salary slips, and 1 full and final settlement document. That's what you have to ensure that you get. Now, once these documents are done, you wait for 45 days, you get those documents. Now, what are you supposed to do within those 45 days? Lot of people within the company, your friends, your relatives, if they get to know that you resigned, they're going to ask you, why did you resign? What made you take that step? It's okay, you're my friend, you can tell me, no? You can share with me, no? But I always believe that out of courtesy, out of respect, never, ever, ever, ever share. You remember I told you about write a list of the actual reasons why you wanted to leave? Not even a single point should go out to any human being on this planet, at least until you've received all the documents. After that, it's your call. I'm no one to tell you what to do after that. But until that happens, you're going to stick to the same words that you mentioned, because that's when your integrity is on the line. And somewhere, how would you feel if you had a company and your employee left and they're talking bad about you, they're back bitching about you? It doesn't make any sense. not for you, not for the company, and it's all a lot of, like, no point being a rotten egg now that you're going to leave. You already resigned just because you didn't like it for whatever reasons. Don't want to be a rotten egg at all. So always be very, very particular related to that point. Never ever spill your beans. Never, never. Hold on, hold on. Be the exact energetic self that you were as you were working. And finally, once you move on for that and you've received your documents, very, very important to give yourself a gestation period. What is a gestation period? There might be a lot of emotions that you will go through. Why didn't they do it like this? Why didn't they give me my full and final settlement a little more? Why are they cutting off so many charges? And why are they firing me early? Lot of these things. It's never a smooth sail. Like what I just shared with you is what I experienced over the last 7 years, and I'm giving you chocolates to eat right now. But it's easier said than done. You're going to go through those emotional loops here and there. And that's why it's important for you to prep yourself up for that. And there are always two things that will happen. One is you are going to start losing hope for humanity as you go through a resignation experience. Two, you're going to take that as a learning, as a lesson, and give yourself the permission that the next company that you're going to work for, or it could be your own company, it could be for your the other companies that you're going to work for, is going to be better than the one that I worked in. Again, strong code of honor, never ever talk. Just one moment. Okay. So yeah, I think I just got some notification. No, no, weird. Okay. So what was I saying? Yeah, never ever talk ill about your previous employers. Never. You're always going to talk about yourself. What did you learn? What were you able to do? What were you not able to do? Blame the skills. Blame the process that could have been corrected, that you felt you should have done better. Put it in that manner, but never, ever, ever blame the company, the process, the manager, and all. It's not going to help anyone. Never do that. And as whatever it is that we have discussed in today's episode, I'm feeling like this is a huge burden got lifted from my shoulder, because a lot of people have been asking me how to go about resignation, and I just felt that I don't see that much of a good content out there, so it's my responsibility to share that, because there's so much of communication that's involved, both the emotional side of it, the logical side of it, the frameworks, every single thing. I've just completely given every single thing out. At the end, am I employed? Heavens, yes, I'm employed. I'm the head of learning and development in Sunsden right now. It's completely different altogether from working for someone else. When you work for your own business, that's when you realize what the actual stakes are. And this I learned from one of the coaches that I enjoy staying connected with. He says, if you did not get an opportunity to work for a good company, create one. And at Sunsden, we celebrate resignations. When we hired an intern, we gave her a letter of recommendation. We gave her LinkedIn recommendations from both of us, from both Yogeshwari and I. We overpaid her full and final settlement. We even gave her all the documents even before she could have asked. And we are still in touch with her. So an exit need not always be bad. At least in Sunsden, we believe it to be a celebration, because you're already always taking the next step. And we believe deep down that if you're worthy, if you really deserve it, you absolutely must take the next step. However, we pamper people. For example, Yogeshwari and I, we are working in Sunsden right now. She pampers me by giving me that freedom, the systems, the tools, the people, the work processes, the freedom to create those systems and processes. I give her the freedom to go all guns blazing on sales and marketing, all the tools that she needs, all the emotional support that she needs. So in Sunsden, we pamper our employees to such an extent that they will never leave. And that's the culture that we are building in based on all that we are learning. So will we have employees in the future, team members in the future? Heavens, yes. Are they going to leave? Definitely. But for us, resignation is not going to be whatever I explained over here. It's going to be something crazy. And maybe once we get to that stage, you will see me sharing that over a live as well. Yeah. Hope you enjoyed this particular episode. Do share your thoughts below. What are the things that you learned the most? What are the things that you're going to implement? What are the things? Who is it that you're going to share this with? And please make sure that you share this with more and more people, especially if you know someone who's going through a hard time and wants to learn how to resign in a better manner. And again, I'm just sharing whatever it is that I have learned. There's today's New Year's Eve, so I'm planning to do not just one, but let's see how things are going to be. A lot of interesting things coming up, and it's going to be a crazy thing. So I'll leave you to Yogeshwari right now. She's going to get kickstart her life. So go and check her live out. Just type Yogeshwari Sukumaran and you will find out every single thing that she's coming up with. She's coming up with something crazy and special, which she has already announced previously in our yesterday's live. Yeah. So go for that. And I will see you yet again. Have a great New Year's Eve. It's going to be absolutely magical. 2026 is going to be our year. I mean that. It's going to be the greatest year of our lives if you just stay in touch with me and we can do this together.